there were moments where Peter Jakson, I don't know if he could do it now, shot all day on the first unit and then went and shot that battle in Helm's Deep all night. So he shot for 24 hours, and he did that a few times, can I tell you? And I'm not sure if that's ever been told. But yeah, you watch some of those shots and just realize as a director, he's pretty young actually then. And then he'd get that day off, like the Sunday he'd have off or something. And I think he'd probably sleep through the whole of it. But then I'd have to shake him awake because we had revisions that we had to get past him. And I'd feel so bad about it. Like, Pete, sorry, you've got to wake up. You've got to sign these pages off. So yeah, I don't know. It was a mammoth task.
Hi, Philippa. How are you?
Hey, hi, guys.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today.
Oh, you're welcome.
To say the least, we are ridiculously big Lord of the Rings fans, and to see what you and Fran and Peter have done with the films over the years has just been incredible. So we're just so grateful to be talking to you today.
That means a lot, actually, because it's always nice it's always nice to meet, because you guys are obviously a lot younger than me, and so I imagine that you came to the films fairly young, yeah?
Yeah, those were some of our favorite, I think, theatrical experiences growing up, was seeing the original trilogy in theaters.
Yeah, that actually means a lot, because actually when we were making them, we did actually imagine exactly you in that theatre watching them and thinking, oh, wow, this is going to be interesting to see, how kids receive this and then grow up with these films, yeah.
Definitely. And, we're just curious, as two of us who have watched the appendices, special features, every year, rewatching the films every year, seeing how your process for writing the films, we'd love to know, how has that evolved from, that first trilogy to The Hobbit and now for the War of the Rohirrim?
I think I learned a lot, I would hope, by the time we came to this one. But honestly, to be fair, not so much. You still got to do the same thing that we had to do way back then, which is to understand the story that you're telling, to understand the characters that are inhabiting the story, and to sort of not try and change things needlessly. To try and have a purpose to whatever you're feeling needs to change, and to understand why you're needing to do it. And then when you have to add to the story, and especially I have to say in this particular instance, because there's not a huge amount that we know from what Professor Tolkien wrote, we were expanding on it. That if we're going to do it, try and do it in the most authentic way that you can possibly do it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And what we love so much is the style of animation being Japanese animation. It's such a beautiful way to tell a story. What was it about it that made it so much fun to work with?
I didn't know. And I was pretty ignorant coming into this in terms of anime. The only thing I knew was sticking, some beautiful films on and watching them with my kids. And then my youngest kid, who's 14, pretty much only watches anime. And I think most of his friends only, I think it's interesting how much some people don't realize how huge anime is, and why too. So I think what happened for me was coming to it in that way was beginning to understand, especially working with someone who's such a master of the form like Kenji Kamiyama, is interesting way in which the pace of storytelling unfolds. He immediately was drawn to that slight, in the middle of the second act, that slightly supernatural piece of, almost like the story's turning into a ghost story, like what's going on here? What is happening? He was so unafraid of that. Like, he relished that. And I was like, well, this is weird because the story's suddenly shifting and changing. And he's like, yes. Which was great, very unafraid. And I find it's kind of audacious, but it's also perfect because I think anime can hold that. You don't have to spoon feed an audience in anime. You tend to fall into the storytelling, and they will follow you with these characters.
Yeah, there's so much I think that this genre allows to do that we weren't able to do in the original trilogy or in the Hobbit films.
Yep.
But something we're so curious about, and every time we watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy, we love the little Easter eggs, the little things that we look out for, and of course, Viggo breaking his toe in the Two Towers is something that we just, anytime it's on for whoever we're watching with, it's like, I'm going to pause. Did you know?
We'll give the look first.
Yeah, we'll give the little look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything that you love or you love to like notice or point out when you're rewatching the films over the years?
The original live action films?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you some stuff. So Helm's Deep. There were moments where Peter Jakson, I don't know if he could do it now, shot all day on the first unit and then went and shot that battle in Helm's Deep all night. So he shot for 24 hours and he did that a few times, can I tell you? And I'm not sure if that's ever been told. But yeah, you watch some of those shots and just realize as a director, he's pretty young actually then, who was literally shooting 24 hours. And then he'd get that day off, like the Sunday he'd have off or something. And I think he'd probably sleep through the whole of it. But then I'd have to shake him awake because we had revisions that we had to get past him. And I'd feel so bad about it. Like, Pete, sorry, you've got to wake up. You've got to sign these pages off. So yeah. I don't know. It was a mammoth task. And at one stage, another thing that I remember is he was shooting 7 units at once, including the aerial unit. Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. He was either completely obsessive and crazy or he was a genius, so I don't know which.
Bit of both.
I think the jury's out.
both.
Fran would definitely say the jury's out on that one.
Definitely.
Yeah, we love that you were also able to source audio from Sir Christopher Lee's performance as Saruman.
Yeah.
Where did you even begin to kind of find that dialogue that matched the story that you were trying to tell in this era of Middle-earth?
You know what? I had to scan my brain, which is aging as we speak. And so it was a wee bit of I was like digging out the old scripts. But actually, I didn't have to go too far because I just put my brain there. And then I woke up one morning and I went, the line in The Hobbit where he says, "Are you in need of assistance, my lady?" And I thought, if we could find a my lord instead of my lady, we could. And if we could find, I could, and then it became. I remember talking to our incredible. We have the best sound editors in the world. I'm not even joking. Probably because we torture them in this way. Where I said, "Do you think you could do this?" And it actually took a lot, I have to say, but. We did have the shape of that line in there. So they had a very solid bones to work on where they just had to tweak a few words. I think ever came from, I don't think he ever was a dropping the N from a never. It was literally little moments like that. But it's his voice, it's that performance is truly based on Sir Christopher Lee. And, he was one of those people who so passionately loved Tolkien. He was a linguist himself. And he, when I talked to Peter about, because, of all the characters, people don't realize this, you guys probably do, but the one character from the live action films who actually rightfully belongs in this story is Saruman, because this is around the time he goes and occupies Isengard. So it was a natural thing for him to appear in this film. So when I talked to Peter about that, he had a close relationship with Christopher, and he said, I think he would have absolutely wanted to have been and done this. And so then when we went to Lady Lee Gita before she passed, she agreed with Peter. She said, yes, he would have wanted to do it, you to do it. So we did. And I hope, Chris, you don't mind. I hope you are proud of it. Yeah.
I'm sure he would be. It was a beautiful moment to see him again. Yeah. And Philippa, we're so grateful for your time today as well. And we really hope we can talk to you again in the future. Hopefully more Lord of the Rings.
I love talking to guys like you who know the film so well. And it's, it's great. We could have probably gone on for 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
Oh, well, you'll have to make the trek down to New Zealand one day.
Oh, that's our pilgrimage for sure that we'll have to do soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you. See you.
Hi, Kenji. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. And congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
You've been a part of some of the most iconic series with Ultraman, Star Wars, Blade Runner. What excited you most about joining the world of the Lord of the Rings?
So one thing that we didn't have in any other IP was the fact that we could get to work with the original stuff that was involved in the trilogy.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm sure working with Peter Jakson and the entire team really helped develop those ideas a lot further.
はい、その通りですね。
Yes, exactly.
It's incredible to see the world of the Lord of the Rings in animated form. It's something we haven't seen in a very long time. And I just love to know, or we'd love to know, what was it like getting to tell this story, particularly in the style of Japanese animation?
So for such a long time, a Japanese style of anime has been established. This is rather different from a Western cartoon type of anime. Our Japanese style of anime can hold up to viewing by adults. So even adults can enjoy and appreciate it. So that kind of way allows it to tell the story. Even adults can appreciate it. But having said that, because it's an animation format, it can appeal to the younger audience. So that would bring in more kind of wider demographic of fans into this Lord of the Ring franchise. So that's one of the benefit of having it done by the Japanese animation style.
Yeah, it really is beautiful to see that, and I really hope that we get to see more stories told like this within the world of Middle-earth.
Yes, indeed. If this movie is going to be a huge hit worldwide, that's going to be possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a favorite scene or sequence in the War of the Rohirrim that you're really excited for fans to get to see?
Of course, my favorite is everything, all the scenes. But actually, in order to depict the supposedly the strongest king in the Rohan, which is the Helm Hammerhand, we get to see how powerful he was. That kind of thing is portrayed in this movie. This is something that the fan would love to see, I'm sure. So this is something like, of course, in the original text, it is said like he was supposedly killed Freka just by single punch, with bare hand. And also that kind of snowy Holmberg, and he was kind of appearing as a kind of ghostly figure. And that kind of thing was already depicted in the original text. But how do we visualize? And that's something that we took it as our mission for this project. And so I'm sure the fans of Helm Hammerhand would be surprised to see a lot of action sequences. This is something that I would love to sort of recommend for the people to watch and look out for.
Definitely. I think especially seeing them on a large screen in this style of animation, it truly is beautiful to see. And we just want to thank you, Kenji-san, so much for sharing your time with us today. And we really hope we get to talk to you again.
ありがとうございます。